Hi, guys. We are tired and stressed. And I'm talking end of the year, teacher tired and stressed. That is like a whole different level. Oh, and did I mention we're also broke?
Yes, and we almost both broke our legs trying to get in,
Get in the studio.
get in the studio. You know, we tripped, I tripped, and then Marnie
I
tripped,
tripped.
and I was like,
Studio 2, broke teachers, 0.
right. So what we're talking about is again saving money. Thus, the name of the show, Broke Teachers Travel.
Yep, we're all about saving the money. Time and life has not allowed us to travel very far the last 2 weekends, but we did manage to have some fun. A lot of fun, actually, and we did it for under $50 a weekend. We had so much fun. 2 weeks ago, we went to the Gulf Coast Salute Air Show, and I have to say, that was hands down one of the most fun days I've had in a while.
Because you got to spend it with me.
Yeah, right. That was it. That's exactly it. It was so much fun watching those jets and all the different planes. It was like this adrenaline rush or something. I don't know. It was so much fun. I really loved it. What were your thoughts on it?
Oh, I thought it was amazing. But, you know, one of the things that's so cool to me is to see how excited Marnie gets about when it comes to rockets and jets. I mean, she is making all of these, like, you know, just joyful smiles and, you know, just so happy. And I'm like, man.
I really can't help it. I don't know why I have this fascination with them lately.
I don't know where
it's a thing.
I don't know where it's come from, but you know that's probably when we used to work at Disney, and Marnie and my daughter Jordan, they would get so excited and they would start running, and me and my son would always joke about them being Sonic and Shadow the Hedgehog running in. You know, they were one step away from doing forward rolls and cartwheels. But now I know how I must look at any president's house or a cemetery or whatever. So
yeah, it's payback. That's what it is.
But that is one of the coolest things is to see, you know, your partner happy about those things. And so we talk often about, you know, making sure it's something that you both enjoy. And what we're going to do today is we're going to share some of our mini adventures with you over the last couple of weeks.
Mini, as in M-I-N-I adventures, because we didn't go super far and we sure didn't spend much money. Like we said, we went to the Gulf Coast Air Show, and I'm going to show you some pictures and video here. Hi, guys. We are at the Gulf Coast Salute Air Show today, and let me tell you, we got a taste of it yesterday, and we came back for more.
And we're in Panama City Beach, and this is Pier Park, and the coolest thing about this is it is free. There's a lot of cool places, you know, where you have free access to just watch what's going on, or if you want to make your wife drive when you sit there and watch it going slowly, or vice versa. So it's a lot of fun here, guys. And again, it's free. There's a little vendor's village set up back here, and we're going to go try to find something to eat.
I have to say, it was kind of hard to get video. Those jets are really, really fast.
Absolutely. You know, and one of the cool things is we actually we went and ate at Margaritaville.
Yes.
And
which is literally across the road
right,
from the beach.
and it was the best views of the entire air show. And so, you know, I ate a cheeseburger in paradise. And what'd you have, Marnie?
I had actually a cheeseburger that had a gluten-free bun, and it was amazing.
And one of the things that, you know, we were so stuffed and we had leftovers. And so, again,
we should have split it.
We should have split it. And so that's one of the value things is always talk about splitting meals, because so many places they have these huge portions. And if you're still hungry, you could always order more. Right.
And we literally each brought home half.
Right. And so, you know, it was one of those things that that could have saved us some money.
Hey guys, Jeff with Broke Teachers, Marnie. We just had a cheeseburger in paradise at Margaritaville here in Panama City Beach.
And we had dinner with the show.
And dinner with the show. This air show was amazing. You know, We did have cheeseburgers, and they do have gluten-free buns here too. So,
Yes.
pretty cool place.
Be sure to check it out.
There was no admission to this. We just
Nope, absolutely free.
and
They had the vendors there, all sorts of things they had for sale. You got a free monster.
Oh yeah, so broke teacher, yeah, and I wanted to go back the other way, but Marnie has limited me to one monster a day, so
For his health and my sanity.
But
You're welcome for that.
yeah. But so I did get the monster free. We got the entertainment for free.
Yeah.
The only thing we paid for was for lunch, and honestly, the view was spectacular.
Worth every penny. Yeah. And it was so nice to be outside.
Yep.
We have been cooped up inside, doing all the paperwork, doing all the end of the year stuff, testing, all of these things. It was nice just to be out in the sunshine a little bit. I mean, it really, it reset my mind a little bit. It kind of, gave me some perspective on things.
Right.
And it made me feel so much better. Even though we didn't go stay anywhere,
Right.
we were just there for the day. And I'm going to be honest, we were there for one day, and then we kind of went back and watched part of it again because it was just phenomenal. I mean, it was free. They actually, one of the radio stations
really cool.
actually gave the background music and everything for it. It was incredible. The, timed with the music and everything.
And it was really cool because we were, the very front, center of it.
Front and center,
And
yeah.
so on the radio, it would say, "All right, now coming over at your left," and you would, yeah.
Everybody looks, yeah.
And I mean, and that was, I won't always say that we are the most efficient tourist destination in the world, but I think we have gotten so much better. That particular weekend, and I'll give a shout out to our tourist development and big shout out to our law enforcement.
Three major events going
Right,
on.
there were like 105. Was it soccer team?
Soccer teams.
Down here.
There was bike week and the air show all in one weekend.
And it was just
we didn't even wait in traffic.
No, and it was just amazing. And oftentimes when you do see those public service people, law enforcement, those folks, and they do a great job, man. Compliment them on it, compliment them on it because usually
that's not easy.
It's
I
not,
couldn't imagine.
And I was really happy with that. So the air show was amazing. And then we also went over to one of the outlets and
we did that the next weekend.
Right.
We did a little getaway. We'll show you the video here.
Hey guys, it's the end of the school year. I'm stressed and I've got to get out. So me and Marnie are trying to decide what we can do for under 50 bucks. So we scrape change and there it is.
Here we go. And we've got 224 miles worth of gas on the car. Let's see what we can do. You ready for the challenge?
Ready.
Okay, so we decided that for lunch, we're going to hit up the Publix deli. They have an amazing deli if you've never tried it. So this is what we're doing. Let's go in. Okay, so for under $25, Jeff got
miso and some I don't know, but it looked good.
some kind of stuffed cheddar bacon hot bites. I don't know.
Yeah.
It looks good. And then I got a gluten-free wrap and some chips, and we both got drinks.
And we're at a Publix, and it's one of the coolest Publix I've been to.
Check this out.
This is the view.
You can eat outside.
So,
This is,
between Panama City and Destin.
yeah, it's water sound.
Water sound. And so if you get a chance, we're sitting outside. Nice day today. Definitely worth it, man. It's a pretty cool place.
Okay, so one of the things we do when we don't have a lot of spare money to spend, we go wander around an outlet center and pretend we have money. We window shop and just walk through the stores and people watch. But we had a lot of fun. We visited the beaches of South Walton. Hi guys, we're winding up our day of less than $50 to hang out for two stressed out teachers that have less than 10 days left of school. But we're winding it up here at the beaches of South Walton today. Gorgeous. We're gonna watch a sunset.
And we spent less than 35 bucks on lunch and snacks. And
yeah.
Went around, walked around the outlets a little bit and saw a couple of other cool things and then ended up watching the sunset.
And if you haven't been there, we highly recommend it. It is gorgeous. and we caught another wedding. It's like every time we go, someone is getting married on the beach.
There was back-to-back weekends where
Yeah.
you hate to be the wedding crashers, not like the movie, but
we kind of happen up on 'em.
and I mean it is always just so cool just to sit there and you got the people that are invited, and you got the people standing on the pier watching. And,
yeah.
And that's cool. And there was there were a lot of cool events going on all around that wedding. And
Yeah,
so,
they had lots of bonfire parties and things like that happening. It was nice to see people out in groups and just enjoying life,
And I will have to say again, giving a shout out to kind of somebody had the vision of, and we still do spring break, we still do things like that. But, I think that we've definitely made that turn in our area to more,
Northwest Florida, yeah.
to more family friendly kind of atmosphere of
Yes.
things. And that's the cool thing, and I don't know, don't get me wrong, when I was a youngster, man, I enjoyed spring break with the best of them, and maybe because I'm older or something, but it is just really neat to see families and see those kind of family friendly things come here. So
Yeah.
and if you're a sports fan, oftentimes look at those local sports games.
There's a lot going
Right.
on sports-wise in Panama City
Right.
Beach. I mean, a lot.
And just thinking about where you live, okay, I'm pretty sure everywhere in the United States we are sports crazy. So one of the things that for $5 or $10, go check out a football game, go check out
Yeah.
a baseball game. Shout
Catch
out
a minor league team.
right.
They're
Pensacola,
tons of fun. We used to go to minor league hockey games.
and there's a minor league baseball team over in Pensacola. Actually.
Oh, really?
Yep. And
I
then,
didn't know that. I knew there was a hockey
Yeah,
team.
there's still the hockey team. I'm pretty sure there is. We haven't done. Matter of fact, let's add that to our list of things to do.
Yeah.
And
I'll tell you one. I don't know if you've seen them yet, but there's one I want to go see.
What's
the
that?
Savannah Bananas.
okay.
They dance.
Oh, okay.
I'm all in.
Well, it's and that's cool things. So a lot of times, especially if you were you love sports in high school, it's amazing. You go and and I've coached my entire life, but sometimes just as a spectator, just to sit back and enjoy the game. And I will say this to any of my former coaching friends or people that may be tuned in that as a coach, after a year or two of being out of it, it becomes enjoyable again. So you're not watching what the backside tackle does, and you're able to enjoy the football game for the most part. I still, Marnie still rolls her eyes sometimes when, I do give her the play-by-play, but under my
Yes.
breath. So
Yes, he does. It's not that far under your breath. I can still
okay.
hear. But make sure you watch this entire video because we're going to share some budget-friendly ideas with you for your next weekend adventure. We have lots of them.
And one other thing before we move on, watching Rick Steves one time, he had this great thing that he said. He said,
I love Rick Steves.
He said, you'll eat ever how many dinners in your life, ever how many lunches, but how many will you remember?
Yeah.
And that was one of the things that we talked about when we went to Florence and we went to some other places. But when I sit there and I just think about watching that air show at Margaritaville, with that beautiful scenery, with the great food, that's something.
Guys, you don't understand. It's literally those planes were over the water right there in front of us.
And so those are just really cool things. And so, those local places with the view, if it's a little more pricey, you think, you're not paying for the food, you're
No.
paying for the view. So you pay for this $1 million view and it only costs you, $20 or $30. So,
Yeah.
that's kind of how I think. So we look at that. So what are some of the things that different
You
people can
can
look at?
definitely hit up a local lake. I mean, you can always, take a picnic. Swimming's optional because, there are different theories on
Right.
things in the water.
Right.
Not big on alligators. We're from Florida, not my thing.
Or sharks
Yeah.
or jellyfish.
Yeah. But the lakes, I mean, they have a lot to offer. You can get a good view. You can have a picnic. Just kind of chill and relax for a little while. It's a great way to spend part of the day.
Right, absolutely. The local parks, especially if you have kids or grandkids, take them there. What was the park
Take
that
a
we
picnic.
What was the park we went to with my brother and sister-in-law and the kids down? And remember we went to that cool park in
They had a whole playground mission that they had created, which is another idea.
Right.
But they were visiting different playgrounds like every weekend.
and then you kind of rank them with kids, and so that
Yeah.
that might be a kind of cool thing to do with kids or grandkids.
Yeah,
And,
cheap, easy, grab a picnic lunch or run through a drive-through somewhere and you've got a cheap day out,
Right.
you know, and it's lots of fun. And get out there and play with them.
Right.
Then
Or-
you're creating the
Or
memories
carry
too.
them around on Uncle Jeff's shoulders. You know,
Yeah.
I have a niece and two nephews, and I put the niece on my shoulders, and that was cool. But then the two nephews wanted to, and I was like, you know, not trying to give them in the same grand tour. And by the end, I'm like, ooh.
Uncle Jeff was tired.
Yeah. Well, they've grown so much that Uncle Jeff would have a broken back now if he did that. But I would still try it.
Absolutely. Another thing you can do is, you know, find those walking trails. As long as it's not like a million degrees and humid
Right.
outside, find some good walking trails and just get out into nature. That rejuvenates you so much. It's amazing how you can go out there, even just going for a walk, period. But I can be so stressed. And if I go walk, I feel so much better mentally and physically. It just does so much for me.
And a lot of towns have now set up these dedicated areas
Yes.
of walking and things. And, you know, in our area, we've really, you know, started doing that. And these are areas that are pretty much only,
Yeah.
you know, used by local folks, you
Mhm.
know, and we try to keep some of that on the hush hush.
Yeah.
But you know, we very much enjoy that.
Absolutely.
You know, another thing that, you know, look at local festivals,
Yep.
okay? And again,
We're
you know,
big on festivals
we
because
love
there's
festivals.
there's a lot to do.
and sometimes they're free, sometimes
Yeah.
they're not, you know, but again, you're paying for the experience, okay?
Mhm.
And so, you know, what I look at is, even when, you know, it's like a $20 entry fee, am
Yeah.
I going to get $20 worth of entertainment
We're
out of
not
this?
talking about the $300 music
Right,
festival,
right,
you know,
right.
nothing like that. Just local festivals.
And some of these local festivals have, you know, free bands to listen to. They have food samples, things
Mhm.
like that, and you know, always, you know, at least in the South, you know, and can't speak to everywhere else, but I'm kind of sure, you know, there's local food, there's local vendors,
kind
and,
of like a farmer's market.
Right,
I mean,
right,
that's along those
right,
same lines. That's
right.
that's a great outing too.
you know, and like this week, we have Jeep Jam, Panama City Beach, and that's a really cool deal. So if you're a Jeep connoisseur, there's a festival for you. If you're an arts lover, there's a festival
Yeah,
for you.
that should be coming up
Right.
soon.
What's
And
that?
the one in Destin that
Right.
we went to
Oh, yeah.
last year.
I forgot about that. But
Yeah.
that was a cool one. And then, you know, I know that over further to the east of there's that big is it folk music bluegrass thing?
Yeah, and there's a lot of songwriters
Right.
festivals around
songwriter-
here too.
Well, there's one of those over in 30A. So
yeah, there's some in 38. I think there's some maybe in Apalachicola.
You know,
I think
you know, so what is it you do every weekend? You Google festivals close to me?
festivals near me.
Yeah, and you know, and there's some really cool stuff. And if it's something, you know, we have, like I said, a festival for everything. We actually
Yeah.
have a possum festival. So
Yes,
and
there is such a thing.
and-
Google it.
and that is really cool. You know,
It actually is.
you know, rodeos, things like that we have here, and you know, again, anybody that's from up north,
There's a
that-
watermelon
yeah,
festival.
watermelon
Mhm.
festival, and so you know, anybody that's from up north that you guys have, you know, kind of your own unique festivals.
Drop us a
Dro-
comment.
drop
We
us a
want to
comment,
know.
You know, what's the coolest one, or maybe the one that, you know, out of towners may not get, or people that aren't from this area.
It's only a locals thing,
Right,
you know.
It's like being the possum queen. You know,
Yes,
it's like
that's
right,
like up
right.
at Alabama.
right.
You have the Peanut Festival.
You have the peanut festival, then you have
Yes.
there's one for the boll weevil, I believe, up in,
Mhm,
is it
in
Enterprise. or
Enterprise,
something?
Alabama.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And so, but yeah, there's a lot of cool festivals, especially the, you know, I love them all, the free ones, but you know,
They're even better.
but just look, if you're going to go to a festival for, you know, and it's $20 and you're going to be there for 4 hours, man, that's $5.
Yeah,
I
maybe
mean,
grab a little bit of food,
Right,
you
I
know,
mean-
from one of the vendors,
and
and you've got a day out.
And you know, and one of the things that I always think is so cool about, you know, the food trucks and the local vendors is those guys advertise by word of mouth, and so
Yeah.
that food tends to be a lot better,
good.
you know. And
It's good.
and again, like I always say, start off small, and then you could always go back, because
Yeah.
you know, we did I guess it was that art festival last year,
Uh-huh.
where we both and again it was like, well, we're going to be out and about, so we should have split instead of having
Yeah.
to chunk it, or, you know, as I try to do, finish it all and just miserable
Then
for the
he's
next time.
miserable.
Right.
But another thing you can do is museums. I mean, big museums, small local museums, it doesn't matter. Sometimes the little local ones can surprise you.
And you know, the curators of some of those museums
Talk to them.
they're some of the most knowledgeable people, not just
Yes.
about their events, you know, about their particular
But like the whole area.
right. You
Yeah.
know, and that was cool. Like over in where is it that they have the air conditioner museum?
I don't remember that one.
Remember, it's over.
I missed something.
The Gory guy. That's his last name is Gory. Is it Apalachicola that has?
I don't know.
I'm pretty sure I've got a book about it. I read it, so I'm pretty sure.
That was information you did not share with me.
I'm pretty sure it's in Apalachicola, and if it's not, I'm probably going to hear it from a couple of my friends that are from Apalachicola. Oh my God, how can you be from Florida and a history teacher and not remember that? But he was the guy that was the forerunner of the air conditioner that Carrier later creates. But it was basically a way of bringing down fevers in the during the time of yellow fever and epidemic in Florida, and so he got a patent on a machine to so.
Okay.
But I'm pretty sure that's an Apalachicola. You never been there?
I know there's in Destin.
Never been there?
I've never been there.
Okay, so note to
I
self.
guess I'm going now.
Okay, good deal.
In Destin, there's even like a fishing museum.
Right.
There's a museum for everything. Find your interest and see if there's something locally, because like we said, it can be surprising.
And there has been so many, when we were on our road trip to Tennessee a couple months ago, there were 2 or 3 museums that we went by that I was like, oh, and we weren't exactly on a killer deadline, but
we had some major things we wanted to hit.
And now that we've done that, I would really like to go back and see that. And
oh yeah, we're already planning another trip to Tennessee at some point, because there's so much we want to go do that we didn't realize.
And if you're visiting friends or families, ask them to ask their friends, hey, what is something that if somebody's from out of town, the 3 must-see
what would you recommend?
Right, and I think that's, museums, I'm always about that, and I've seen some amazing ones. One of the cooler things that happened in my coaching career, and I was talking about this when I saw one of my former wrestlers at the air show, that they kind of surprised me as the history teacher, because many of them had me as a teacher.
Yeah, because we did not know this.
Right. Yeah, and so they they kind of surprised me, and I was like, man, we're kind of behind, and we were coming back and said, well, no, we're going to go to the Spanish fort over in St. Augustine.
Yeah.
And so there was actually 2 forts there, and I knew about one of them. I didn't know about the other one. So
Castillo de San Marcos.
Yeah. So we went there.
I remember going.
And
I think I was in 6th grade.
And that was really, really cool. So again, ask those folks. What's local. For me, from Jackson County, we have the caverns, and we did an episode of that.
Yeah. Go back and watch it.
In Marnie, where she's from, there's a big rodeo there, and I mean, I don't know if that counts as a festival, but those things are pretty cool.
It really is,
especially if you've never been to one.
Yeah. It's definitely something to see.
Yeah.
It is not like that. I mean, like, it's really it's cool, and once you get into it a little bit.
Right.
It's highly competitive.
Right.
It's a really big deal, and that is one of the bigger ones that's been around for a long time on the circuit. I think it's well over 75 years now.
And I know also that there's something for everybody. I know my grandmother used to like to go, and Marnie's from a very, very small town, and they had that huge rodeo, and then there was this all-night Christian sing gospel sing that they would do, and my grandmother, man, she loved that.
Yeah.
That and Little League Baseball. So those were the 2 things that she loved more than her grandchildren. I'm just kidding, but she did love those things.
But yeah, there's so much for everybody. I mean, you can go to a state or national park. Those are always inexpensive. I mean, sure, some of the bigger ones are like, I think $30-something to get in, but we're talking like the big national parks like Mount Zion or Bryce Canyon or something like that. We're not talking about, mainstream ones. We're talking about
and for
the big to-dos.
And for the fathers and guys out there, or women that just love history, the Civil War battlefields, the Revolutionary battlefields, the War of 1812. There's been so many cool things that
you can follow trails, history trails. And
if
they're in your area.
And one of my friends were talking about there's actually apps that you could download, and they kind of give you the history as you go through that, and that's something that we've never done because we always have me.
Yeah.
And, but.
Like in the Washington, D.C. or the Boston area, places like that, there's all kinds of things. Speaking of Washington, one of your friends told us about a museum that we didn't know existed.
Right.
We had been to the Smithsonian version of the Air and Space Museum and we found out there's something even cooler.
And I tell you, DC, that's one we got to get to, and maybe not this summer, but it's something that we went to
in the
took
near
the
future.
kids.
Yeah,
But there's something there for everyone, and
so much, and a lot of it is free
Yep.
because it's the Smithsonian museums.
Yep.
So you get there, you pay for your airfare or however you're going to get there, you pay for your hotel and your food, and then everything else you do for the most part is free.
And there's so many cities that, and Marnie and I were talking about, just not only just the national parks, but trying to hit all the states. And there's still one that I haven't, and I want to make sure I get that. But Marnie's list is a lot smaller, but we are going to definitely add to this summer. And but those are the things. But look at those festivals, look at the beaches, museums, any of those things that are around you, and maybe even reach out to your family members. Hey, we'd really like to come up to that festival, and maybe you guys could come down to this festival. And so it's a little reunion, things like that. Renting a cab and renting, again.
But you don't have to. You don't have to stay overnight. Make it a day trip.
Right, and
keep it cheap.
But again, that's just part of it, And so there's a lot of different things that we're hopefully going to be adding a lot of cool content this summer.
Yeah.
But if you can't travel, look, cool stuff within an hour of me.
We're stressed. Life's happening. We couldn't get but so far away because we have so much going on. So we took our day, and then just kind of made a day of it both weekends, and it was great to get out like that.
And I could tell you the difference between, I guess, a middle school teacher and a elementary school teacher is I'm up at 5:30, 6 in the morning, and Marnie's like, "What are you doing?" I'm like, "Aren't you ready to go?" And she's like, "No,
I need sleep.
But
I need lots of sleep."
That's all right. We've got like 8 days left, 7 days left.
Nope. Try again.
6?
6.5.
Oh, wow.
How many days do you guys have? Drop us a comment. We want to know. Tell us what state you're from and how many days you have of school.
And tell us about your local festivals, things that's a cool thing to me.
We love to hear about this stuff.
And it's so funny because there are those things out there that are absolutely free that that are around there. So around your area. So let us know, and if you got the hookup and a cool thing to do, please let us know.
Yeah, it's so much fun. Well, that's going to do it for today, guys. Thanks for hanging out with us. And be sure to check out our socials, follow along, and hit that subscribe button. Make sure you do that.